So with regard to education, we have come to understand that there are a lot of people out there who are first responders and they may not even realize it. We have learned that there are specific areas that victims will encounter people in society that they could potentially be intersected, where someone could assist them if they knew the right questions to ask or if they knew what to look for. So we have developed first responder training for people in the area of education, medical personnel, and law enforcement.
According to Georgia Cares, 90% of the victims they serve were attending school when first approached by a trafficker. In a study published in 2014, 88% of the sex trafficking survivors interviewed reported they had received medical attention during the time they were being trafficked. A 2016 survey found that 90% of the responding survivors were arrested during the time they were being trafficked, and 42% were arrested more than 10 times.
First responders are those people who may have an intersection with a victim while they are in the life and they don't even realize it. And so we have created first responder training to help them identify some of the signs, to know the questions to ask, and how they can possibly be the person that is the difference between someone maintaining a life of exploitation or getting out of the life and developing a life of freedom where they thrive.
The Rescuing Hope first responder training programs are an effective method for increasing the number of identified sex trafficking victims. Sex Trafficking 101 is designed for those in education, teachers, counselors, school administrators, resource officers, and IT staff.
I'm on the school side of it, so as first responders, we need to be aware of what it looks like. And if you don't know what to look for, it would be so easy just to go to an assumption that they were just struggling with drugs or they were struggling with the wrong crowd. Anybody in the school that's dealing with children needs to be aware.
Diagnosis Trafficked is designed for medical professionals such as nurses, physicians, and intake personnel.
I had this one patient. It was a young female around my age, but she was with another woman. When I asked her, "Do you feel safe where you live?" She said yes, but she paused. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna try to separate her member in the room who claimed to be a family member, but was not. Once I got her separate from the person who was with her, she said, "Help me. I'm not safe. I need your help." I think it's important that other nurses and other medical staff get this training because we could be the only contact for that girl, that person, that boy, for who knows how long. People come to the ER who are in sex trafficking all the time, but we don't know it. We don't always know the signs. But with this education, I was able to recognize the signs, the smallest sign, and help rescue that girl. We are supposed to ask every single person, do you feel safe? Are you in danger? Do you need help? But a lot of nurses say, hey, I have some silly questions for you. Do you feel safe? Like it's thrown under the bus too quickly. We say it too fast. We act like we don't care. We're too busy. We need to slow down. Nurses need to slow down and ask the most important question you could ask a patient. Do you feel safe?
Beneath the Surface is designed for those in law enforcement, such as police officers and attorneys.
I walked away from the training thinking that we were better prepared for the police department in order to identify the indicators that are prevalent in this type of crime, sexual exploitation, human trafficking. As a unit, we walked away and we wanted to better prepare our officers, our uniform division, as to the indicators that Susan talked about. I think the training was invaluable. So we initiated the training with Uniform Patrol, doing roll call, and then we had annual training within the unit, the Detective Bureau, to ensure that we were operating on a level that we should be. Something that I learned from the training that I used and implemented during my work was about a year ago. A young lady was in the Kennesaw area, and a male said that he ordered her off Craigslist. And when we got there, she was running away from the home. So we, at that point, rescued her. She hadn't eaten in several days, which is one of the indicators that Susan taught us. She was not very forthcoming, another indicator. She had on a lot of makeup, excessive makeup, another indicator. She gave a false name, and she hadn't eaten in several days. So those indicators alone, I immediately knew what kind of issue we had here and how we needed to go about investigating it. I think it's invaluable. I think it was some of the best training we've ever received in this particular field, in this particular genre of crime. And I think that if we can implement it, especially here in Metro Atlanta, where this is a major area for sex trafficking and exploitation of minors, I think if we can implement the training that we receive, then we'll do wonders of good.
The more first responders that can get trained, the more victims we will rescue.
In 2018, Rescuing Hope trained 936 people at 10 events.